Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the NWP podcast. Tonight, we are not recording Sasuke 42. Dude, this thing should probably go off after that episode, honestly. I don't know. Yeah, this is clearly just a topical thing, but I think it is an interesting idea. Yeah, okay. So let me just set the stage here. So, when did we do this last? I think it was 2 years ago when we did that episode. Let me check, because I have the playlist here, because that's what we're doing. 2022, so that was 3 years ago. Wow. Yeah, 3 years ago. So, 3 years ago, we filmed episode 42 of the podcast. We went back and reacted to the very first podcast we ever recorded on the AW10 season finale, which I believe was recorded in April 2019. Yeah, that was like literally barely a month after we became friends. Yeah, and today we are going to be talking about us rewatching the first 2 episodes of NWP podcast to celebrate our 5th anniversary of doing this podcast. How have we been doing this for that long? Technically speaking, we haven't been doing it weekly for that long, but January 26, 2020 is the date the first episode was uploaded. So, as it is topical, the 3 of us are getting together, we watched this episode. Now, this episode sucks. I will be clear, I haven't seen this in a hot minute. The second episode, it got copyrighted, so I am very curious to see that one, because I haven't seen that one. I've seen the first one a couple times, because my brain likes rewatching shit that is terrible, especially if it's my shit, but I haven't seen the second one in so long, because I don't think I've touched the second one since I edited it, because it's, like, not even viewable on the channel. Yeah, I remember, I think you had said that you were gonna, re-edit that version and then put it online. I had plans to, but, I just never got around to it. But with this, you guys are gonna see the original version of that video, and I'm gonna re-edit this all together. Just to note, too, this will not be showing the whole episodes. I remember when we did the first time we did this, when we did the AW10 one, I kind of hate the fact that the way I audio edited that one. That was me personally. That was before Crystal was editing the podcast episode. She didn't start editing podcast episodes till, what was it? Season 14, I think it was Vegas, actually. I don't know. I don't remember what was my first episode for this. I know Gaming Headband, my first Let's Play that I edited was Spider-Man from the Foe, but here, it's iffy. I know it was afterwards, though. Yeah, it was somewhere during AW 14. I was like, Crystal, I can't edit these anymore. And I was like, look, school's taking up my time. You've been offering and you're already editing for me, so do you mind having this? And she said, okay. Yeah. But, without any further ado, let's take a look. So, today we're going to be watching NWP Podcast, Episode 1, titled Introduction and USA versus the World Predictions. This was posted on January 26, 2020, and was recorded, I think it was probably days ago at that point. Yeah. Oh my god! What, John? The logo. Oh, wait! Okay, do you want me to adjust that now? Because, that's literally right there. I think I've always been curious why you did that, because okay, so, way back then, I kind of assumed that, the series would be more, that I would like to have a logo for the series, and I really didn't know what to do. So what I did was that, I filmed myself playing Super Smash Bros., and, got poses of me characters doing winning animations. I cut them out. You can kind of see it a little bit how I cropped them because they were pretty bad looking, and then I made the logo. It was never used again, and honestly, I'm glad I retired it after 1 episode. I mean, you took the time to do that and everything. I don't even like how my me looks in that. Yeah, I don't think those me characters are accurate representations of what we look like. It was just us being kids and designing, having fun with Nintendo's Meme Maker. To be fair, aside from me being an artist, it's a pretty good tool because if you don't know how to draw, it's just an easy way to craft characters. Yeah, for me, I want to be a writer. In the future, what I'm trying to go to college for, and I can't draw for shit, but Nintendo's Mii Maker has allowed me to visually recreate the illusions in my head, and that's an example of that. Don't ask me why I made the Woods Ninja Warrior podcast. Red, blue, and white. I think it was because of the American flag, but you could barely read it, so like I really don't think I should have done that. Yeah, there's like no drop shadow. There's no stroke. There's no nothing. It's just plain text. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I made that in Photoshop, and there was a separate image I had popped off in the corner there. So yeah, I think we're ready. 5 minutes in. Yeah, so these two episodes, I think they total about 50 minutes, give or take. So they aren't gonna be as long as the other one, but this podcast might be as long. Yeah, you never know, honestly. Anyway, you two ready? No. Absolutely not, but let's go. What's what we came here today. Yeah, let's go. Jesus, that's quiet. Hold on. It's literally that quiet. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm gonna have to like turn up the volume on the microphone too, so you guys can actually hear how quiet that actually was. Yeah, literally, it may not even be hearable on the mic.
Pretty much anything in terms of stuff, and I will round up some things that you guys might not.
Can I pause? You have full control. Go. I find it really funny how, like, you're talking about, you're going to use this podcast to explain why you've been gone for so long when you literally left YouTube, not, like, I don't know. I think it was, like 2 weeks after this was posted, I left YouTube. Briefly, I left this channel, excuse me. So, I guess I should give that context, too, because, I've never really talked about it. So, during this time frame, I was very depressed. Like, really depressed. Like, worse than I had ever been in my life up to that point and up to this point. Like, literally the ages of, how old was I? You'd be 12. Okay, so the ages of 12 to about, like, I think just after I turned 14 is what is probably my darkest years, just because I really wasn't thinking all that well. Excuse me. I wasn't thinking all that well. Was actually contemplating, suicide, because I really didn't think anybody cared. And the Ninja Warrior channel was kind of an outlet, and I was so out of it that I was losing the drive to continue the series. The podcast at the time, it was built from inspiration of the Armchair Ninja podcast, which was a small podcast, but it had a loyal fan base. I wish we got as big as them, but they had a small, loyal fan base where they talked about Ninja. It was so cool. Like, I loved them. I would love to have them on the podcast someday. Yeah, I think that'd be awesome. Like, the two of them, like, with them, like, I know, like, it's a little weird to say this right now, but, like, they're kind of influential. Yeah, on that tangent, I've actually been going back and rewatching some of the stuff. Like, I personally, like, miss the dynamic between, Witch and Bajan on the podcast. On the Ninja podcast. Yeah, so that was why I started it. Secondly, I really wanted to do more analysis-style videos, and this was my first thought, And I just met you guys. We were casual friends. We had never met each other in real life because we don't go to the same schools. And Crystal's even a year older than us. Much older. Yeah. Much older than us. So, yeah, I mean, we've met in person now. We're recording this together in person. Like, I can slap John if I want to, but I'm not going to. What the hell, man? Like, we've done this before. But, like, actually doing it is, like, kind of... Like, we had talked and met before, but, like, actually doing this via the podcast was, like, so surreal. Oh, yeah, definitely. I think one thing to note, too, with this episode of the podcast and, with the two we're going to be watching here... it's not that the audio is terrible. We're using the same microphone that we used all the way back then, which is kind of funny. This thing has lasted 5 years. This is the same one? Yeah, it is. I didn't even remember that far back to know that. Yeah, so this was, me, one of the last videos I did before I left YouTube due to my depression. I stayed uploading on the gaming headband. That was my new drive. I really wanted to do Let's Play content. And the Let's Plays, like, back then, they were pretty bad quality, too. Yeah, that was really bad. Like... Honestly, I really don't like the old Let's Plays. Like, I'd say, what would you say is the first watchable Let's Play on the gaming campaign? Lego Batman, I guess. That was like probably my favorite to record at the time. Oh yeah, but like, I'm trying to be loose with this because I really like that Let's Play. And I will experiment with Defoe as well when we recorded those. But yeah, we've been going on this way too long. Yeah, the hiatus thing. Okay, so I think I basically explained all that. So I think we can keep going.
So speaking of which, this podcast it has to be ninja related. You guys can request topics for us to cover.
If only. Yeah, that would have been nice for us to actually get that popular. What is the crumbling we can do in the background? I think I did no audio editing for this episode. I think I did very minimal editing, if I remember correctly, because I assumed that like audio would be fine, and I didn't feel like going in now and changing it.
Yeah, maybe this guys want us to talk about that week, but then we have Ninja Warrior Junior that'll be coming out. Yeah, so we're gonna be doing every episode of that as it comes out.
That was a nightmare. For season 3, yeah, for season 2, we did a couple episodes of those, and maybe we'll watch those soon. Those are so long though, like I'm good.
I got on a hiatus about September or October. Let me see this.
You checked on cast? Yes I did. And I didn't cut it out either. Oh my god, I didn't even cut this out? Wow. How long? Oh my god, how long are you on this?
I got hiatus for
5 seconds to check. Perfect.
About a month. And by the way, do go subscribe to my gaming channel. It's kind of going slow in terms of subs.
So desperate. Oh yeah, I remember being so desperate for subs back then. What was it? I think it was of course I don't think I ever mentioned this either. But back when I first started this channel, like way back, this was that mentality back then. So when I very first started this channel, it was 2019. A friend of mine started doing gameplays on YouTube. I think I'll friend him as JRJ because he actually guest starred in one of my videos, and I had Crystal upload it. Oh, it was that kid? He really? You were telling me how like he wasn't really like the best friend in the world. Like he inspired you to do this thing that like defined part of your life. Yeah, honestly, I mean, I wanted to do a YouTube channel since back then, but he is the one that pushed me to do it. And honestly, I don't really know how and why it did that, but he did. So anyway, that kid, we were both somewhat friends. And he drove me to make this channel. But I feel like me personally that he induced me a thought of like he always induced in me a thought of like you need more subs. Subs are important. And I started during this time frame. Once I came back to YouTube, I became so desperate that I started putting little inslays in my videos in the beginning. So like go sub, and they were like 50 seconds. I remember hating those. I hate the every season buzzers montages where I put that at the beginning. And a lot of them I can't update. Well, actually, Thomas Stones you can't update because he hasn't gotten a buzzer since. But the others you really should. Yeah, I probably should actually. I might do that in the future. Anyway. So, yeah, I became so desperate for subs, and I think it was because of that mentality, his mentality, that kind of influenced me. Because a lot of the time, I didn't really have my own individuality. I let my friends kind of my peers, I can't call them friends. I let my peers influence the way I acted and my mannerisms. Never really became an individual till, like, my sophomore year of high school, really. Damn, that late. Yeah. I can kind of see it, because, like, I feel like during Mario Party 5, you had a tough time, like, driving us to film and, like, record and stuff. Yeah, I remember that was one of the hardest things that I've ever recorded, just because I was leading everyone to play through the game. I just had known about it, but, like, I was leading everyone through it, so it was kind of tough to, like, know about it. So, yeah.
But anyway, the Wiz One channel, it will finally be head down and ready to go. Yeah.
This is so boring. There was no, like, drive or personality. Like, nowadays, we have a dynamic. Back then, we did not. Have I even talked to doing this at all?
We don't really care if people in our country.
I actually think... John, if you went completely silent this entire episode, I think I introduced myself and that was it. I think I've legit just been that silent throughout this entire thing. Oh my, I actually remember what's it? You had a reputation for just being quiet among us. David and Crystal are kind of loud people, so when you get me into the wing, I kind of had to be more assertive, and I'm more of a quiet person. So always on recording, I should say. Yeah, I was a really quiet kid back then. Yeah, so I didn't really talk on here. I think it wasn't until when it was just me and David on the AW12 stuff that I started actually contributing. Yeah, I do remember that because you guys recorded that all in one and took a hate, and then what's it? I didn't join back into the semis, and you two just drive the episode. Yeah, that was the first time me and John got to explore our dynamic doing a podcast episode, and that was I don't really like those episodes either. When would you say is the first watchable episode of the podcast? I'm gonna say our AW13 coverage. I think that's when we started becoming actually a cohesive podcast group that actually had a dynamic that I enjoyed editing. I enjoyed listening to. I enjoyed recording. I felt like the AW12 stuff. I felt like was an obligation for us, even though the season was way over by the time we started. What I really liked doing was covering AW13 because of how we were able to do it week to week. And we just got to do one episode a day. That was fun. Yeah, I also liked how, we were able to turn out episodes so fast. Back when, you were editing. Yeah, I was able to do that, and now I can't do that anymore because I don't have the time. Or the drive, either, but I just don't have the time. It really is the time, really, because it's such a time take to edit these episodes.
We are not going to upload some of this stuff. So, you guys probably don't know much about my friends, John and Crystal, so you guys can just, maybe do a little bit of an interview. How is this even an interview? Normally in interviews, you're able to see the person talking. I know.
Yeah, because we don't want to do face review.
So
I'd rather not force that upon you two, honestly. I'd rather not. Me personally, just... I like how this is just an audio thing and people can interpret what we look like. I actually really hate how, all me characters up there are just sitting there because that was supposed to be the interpretation of what we actually look like in real life, and it's just fucking weird. I guess that was probably the reason why I did that, because I wanted people to have a representation of what we look like without showing our faces. 'Cause I didn't even show my face back then. And I haven't even done it since that video. I've changed so much. My look has changed so much since then. Yeah, David, do you mind if I say it? You can cut it out if you want to. I grew out my hair. I started, just branching out and being my own individual self. I feel like that's the best way to describe it. I started being an individual. I seriously... Back when I did the Q&A video, and before that as well, I was mostly just copying the people around me and their own mannerisms, and now I'm an individual. I find that really humorous. It's just you want an individual till age fucking 15. I wasn't! You guys know that, that was the way I was,
Alright, so let's just start with me. My name is Crystal Venese.
Ooh, oh no. What? Go back. Okay. Hold on a sec.
My name is Crystal Venese.
Oh my god.
It's what?
Okay, that was a complete lie. I don't even know where I came up with that. Was that something on the fly? I don't even remember you doing that. Okay, so, bit of background. I'm not from Russia. I was born here, and, I don't know where my brain came. I think my brain wanted to say my last name. I said something random, and I wanted to go along with it, so I came up with some random excuse, and no one called it out for some reason. And you left it in. I did no audio editing with this episode at all. I wouldn't be surprised if, there's no pictures or anything in this video, because this video had no audio editing at all. Yeah, but that's funny. Yeah, I came up with a last name for myself. Also, keep in mind here. So, this was before I was still doing a high pitched voice, and this was also before my voice. This is before I hit puberty, like right beforehand, because I was 13. So like that was just starting. So like that's why my voice sounds so different doing this. Yeah, I find that my voice sounds really different too. Like I got a lot deeper over the time. Oh, me too as well. Like I feel like if you can hear me talk, like I don't even think I have any of the deepness that I have now. I think me and you actually sound really similar during this video. I think that's another reason why we can't tell when we're talking. But like the difference between me and John's voices was very subtle back then. It became more over time because John's voice got a lot deeper than mine. Yeah, I think it's just because of ethnicities and whatnot. Yeah, I think deepness in voice does come down to genes. If it does come down to genes, I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
I know one new episode Ninja is gonna be on, and I'll be uploading a reaction on my channel.
Can I speak on that? We're pausing every like 3 seconds, Crystal. I want to speak on that because I'm never gonna get a chance to talk about that video. Oh, okay. Okay, so this is a stupid story, and I might not even include this. But like, I recorded back then. I actually did go through the effort of recording this video. Oh, really? What? You told me you didn't. Did I? I actually did record. I think it was because I was so embarrassed by it. So, I recorded that video, a reaction, and first off, that reaction was my second time viewing the episode. I had already seen it by then. I just improv'd the entire fucking thing, and I watched through the entire thing like I expected people to watch the entire episode with me. But I legitimately watched through the entire thing. And the funny part is that, like, I legitimately had to use the bathroom during recording, but because my mic at the time didn't have the pause button, I didn't want to have to make a second recording, so, like, I was pacing around the room, trying to hold it in while I recorded the episode. Did that not come in through the audio? I don't have it anymore. What? Dude! Go, that would have been so cool to, like, share. Oh, trust me. I wish I still had that, because I think it would be really funny to hear. You know? Oh my god. That is, like, so... You told us that. I think I was embarrassed of it at the time, but then I just never came up in conversation. But, like, now, I don't give a shit anymore. But, seriously, that was seriously what was going on with that video. I actually did record it. Wow, okay. That's some crystal lore right there. Crystal lore, that's perfect. Bravo, that's awesome.
Channel and stuff? Yeah. My channel's gonna be called The Cartoonist. And I will be talking
Which is
about
so original, by the way.
Cartoons or movies. It's not gonna be limited to just animated stuff. I will do some live actions. I'll tell you what I really do feel like it. Yep.
That was like a passion thing of mine, but then I just never found the time to do it. Never really had the confidence in my own voice. But you did the podcast with me. I didn't have the confidence I could lead a video on my own. Oh, okay. That makes sense.
For this year, we have continued to say we have two dress show. Of course, Jesse the Black. Woohoo! Daniel Gill.
There's actually images now.
Michael Torres.
I love how I sell away for Jesse the Black. Girls. I would go so crazy if a girl was on, like, Enjoy in general. Yeah, I actually remember, like, maybe we'll see when we go to the second episode.
I was a kid last year, which I don't think you just did, but whatever.
I still stand by that. Which is that's probably only because of Overblown, right? Oh, yeah, definitely.
No Joe Molaski. I mean, he made it all the way to the end of Kane Lane. They really didn't choose Joe Molaski.
Or Kevin Corbone, like any of those other people who made that for him. Absolutely. Season 11 was full of people who made it super duper fun. I didn't pick any of them. Like Seth Rogers, I think, should have been on the team or something along those lines. There were so many ninjas who had like 4 buzzers that season, and then they just didn't pick them. They picked Michael Torres, who fell in the qualifiers, I think. Like, ugh. Oh, yeah, why? Mispronounced. us mispronouncing the names. I forgot about this. This is literally the only. Honestly, I just have to do the only part of the episode I actually remember us doing. Because we really didn't know how to pronounce these, and we didn't give a shit about, looking up, like, how do you actually pronounce these names? We just tried.
I don't know, they might. Yeah, maybe they will.
Yeah, we kept all that in. Yeah, this is literally the only time we actually, were laughing about and actually having fun recording the episode. This part right here. Why did you keep this in? I did no audio editing. I don't know why I bothered with the images if I wasn't going to bother editing the audio. I probably did the bare minimum just to get this through. And honestly, I'm surprised I even did the images, if I'm being completely real. I wasn't expecting to see those.
Okay. And finally, a team Australia, we have Layson Klein, Olivia
Did you really not know how to pronounce his name? I guess not.
Adam Whale, because once again, he's like pretty fast speaking.
I can see you being antsy. I am! I literally can't stomach this. I literally can't stomach this. Like, hearing, like, how monotone I was back then. I did not know how to drive a recording session at all. I think that's the hardest thing to watch. It's not only my voice, it's more I didn't know how to drive a recording. So, like, at a certain point, there's, like, nothing happening and we're just rambling on, and all three of us. I find that so strange. I find it so strange that, like, there's three of us, but we couldn't talk. We couldn't drive a podcast. Yeah, it took so long. Even if we had just met, like, it just, by this point, we had known each other for a good year, like, just under. So, like, I felt like we would have had a dynamic by this point, but, and all that was just because we were afraid to be on camera or what? I don't know. I mean, you guys agreed to the idea. I don't even remember how you posed it to us, and I'm being completely real. I can't tell you either. I'd have to look back if we still had the group chat back then. I don't remember if we did. I mean, we would, but, like, I don't remember. I mean, we'd really have to look back. Maybe sometime in the future I'll go back and actually time and progress the story, because I actually had to put it together.
Yeah. I guess we'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Wait, why is so extra? I actually was so bad at cutting this, I didn't even bother to, like, cut out this little extra part here. That was bad. We are 40 minutes into this recording. I think I'm actually going to need to change the mic's batteries to make sure this actually goes through. Oh my god, this was terrible. Yeah, I think I understand why we never watched this together before this. Oh, fuck yeah, like, I could barely, you guys, I might have included a couple of them, Crystal, that I was so antsy doing. I wanted to skip forward so badly, but I'm like, but you were saying, like, we should keep the entire thing on there. Yeah, like, I can do cutting, like, you know, we just chill and watch, like, and then I'll cut out the most cool reactions. This was crazy, first off. Yeah, this was a piece of shit, honestly. I don't really like this one. But anyway, let's hop into the second episode. This was the first episode. I think this was the first video I came back with. After the high years, after my depression, and after I started having a little bit of drive to come back, I think this was the video I came back with, and no one can see it now. Yeah, you know it's a good sign when the first thing you see is a disclaimer. Yeah, again, what was this recorded so I can see? In the description here. I know it's been a while since I've uploaded, but here's episode 2. This was recorded in February and was supposed to be released then, but several things got in the way, and my drive to continue the channel kind of lost its float during that time as well. I will explain everything regarding the main channel in the future soon. Great message, that's so vague. So vague. Yeah, I know, and as I put my Twitter down now, and the gaming headband show because I was that desperate. But anyway, this was me kind of just explaining. I don't think I did anything to explain my absence during this time I think I legitimately just came back anonymously and went from there. How is this thing have 1.4 million thousand views when, like, I guess it was recent. I don't know. It was just at a certain point this thing became under copyright, and there you go. I know the reason. The reason why was because I used footage during this episode because I really didn't care. I didn't think that I thought we could get away with it. with the All-Stars special. That was the first video I said fucking started using pictures, and I started to realize that like it's a podcast, it really shouldn't be all that video. So that's when I started just using pictures, and that's how we do the episodes today. Back then, yeah. I just thought how like vague this is, like outdated. What did you expect to be outdated? I don't know. Like I'm kind of curious myself now. Hold on a sec. This one might be even.
See, we couldn't even get together last week. So, John. Hey guys, I'm Bill Ross. I'm John.
Why did you say your last name? I couldn't tell you. That is my actual last name. Don't dox me.
So, starting off with the opening music video.
Oh yeah, this was what we did.
Wasn't bad.
Yeah, because like at this point, every episode initially had one, so I guess you just started to do it. Yeah, at this point, like after this episode, they actually kind of stopped doing them because AW12 barely had any, and now they only do it for like the first and last episodes of the show.
And I'm gonna edit that part out. I'm gonna edit that part out. The music video.
I will edit that part out. And then you just didn't. I thought I was such a good video editor back then, but I guess not, you know? I feel like your mentality back then was so different. Definitely for sure. I'd say.
Yeah, I was thinking the TV off guy might have Beetle and Michael Torres might have failed somewhere.
I fully understand why this thing got copyrighted. Oh yeah, like if Chris looking in a way was showing it, we actually did take time to like show footage and like it's full screen while our audio's in the background. Like that was how I wanted the podcast to be originally. But like now it's just more, you know, it's more video, it's more pictures and stuff, and I like that aesthetic a lot more nowadays. But back then, that was how I wanted to do the show, and it just took so much more time. There's some spud there. Yeah, it's not like Jessie Graves one blew up like worldwide, so like it's pretty probable that she would have found some other way to watch it. Like Jessie Graves one like became such a local legend in the legit community after it happened. So like I am so sure that like that's what happened. It's not the official video might be watched in our country, but like there's other ways you could have saw it, and I didn't even and you didn't even acknowledge those.
Yeah, really disappointing one from Australia.
I feel like when you edited this, you probably didn't bother with audio editing. You just took the point where you started the one, skipped the one, look where you point with another one, and went from there. Oh yeah, I am 90% sure that's how I edited this because I don't think I cared otherwise. I don't think I really thought like yeah, do audio editing. When like there was so much here, I just wouldn't show nowadays. Like Crystal, I guess you can attest to this. But like back when I started doing AW13 stuff, and started recording that, I would cut out so much because there was so much blank space in the audio. Oh yeah, for the average podcast episode, like I take like over like a minute, like I take out like at least like 3 minutes of mic footage just because it's unusable stuff. It's unusable garbage. There's a lot of outtakes that we do during these episodes, especially the longer ones.
David, what do I forgot about Tim Sheep? We haven't seen him do anything since the season 7 one.
I mean, of course, we're complaining about that. It was a top complaint. It was one of my biggest problems with it. That they got people who clearly didn't have the skill level as the old Team Europe. So it just felt like a shadow of its own self. Even worse than how Team Japan felt. Like, Team Europe became the new Team Japan in the USA vs. the World, and that's kind of sad to be real, but that's what it was. Why did you keep that in? What do you mean? You just like fiddling with the mic? I don't know why I was fiddling with the mic. I don't know. We were recording. I remember this is actually when we did in-person meetup, so I don't know why I was fiddling with the mic on this one, honestly.
That's what I have to say. There's nothing impactful about a story. And him completing the course isn't really all that shocking anymore.
God, a shock. Oh my god, didn't you clear? Like, what a shock. It's kind of humorous when you say it like that, actually. Damn. Did I? Do I really have to, like, watch this part? I mean, it's humorous. No, it's not. I literally... I'm just like, did I really have to, like, scream my little girl voice at the top of my lungs into the fucking camera? This is why my voice got super deep when I got older. Because shit like this. Because I hated how my voice sounded. Wow. Yeah, like, honestly, I did it on, I did this voice on the podcast because I felt like I needed this on the go, but now I don't give a shit. And, like, it was the only voice I could do back then, but, like, it sounds so bad. Yeah, like, I actually was taken aback by it for half a second. Can you please just, like, skip? Because I don't need to hear it. Yeah, I don't think I need to hear it either. But you got a point, like, did you really need to scream at the top of your lungs? I was so mad. I'm pretty sure I did my reactions for this, when I recorded that. I probably exaggerated my reaction for this so much. Yeah, I mean, it gotta make it entertaining. I don't even know anymore, I really do wonder if that video was salvageable. I really wish I still had it, because I would like, edit that together and, have you upload on your channel, David, because... Oh, man. Yeah, I think it'd be really interesting just to see, like, a 20-minute cut of that, you know? Just without any audio, without any video, just 20-minute cut with some minor visuals here and there. I think that would have been really interesting. Like, for me to upload later on. Yeah, I don't know. That would have been really cool, I think.
You literally just, like, pause. Because you can't figure out what the obstacle's name. I can't think of him. Honestly, I would help you, but I would just like to hear you scream more.
I was kind of like that back then. I really was an asshole. Yeah, it was kind of John's thing back then before we actually got to know each other.
One of his hands actually got trapped in the gap between the plexiglass and the bar, and he just moved.
Man, Team Australia really was able to shine because Team Europe sucked. Oh, absolutely. I'll be honest here. Just if you want to talk about opinions about USA vs. World specials, I love seasons 6 through 9. I think those are amazing specials. I think they are so much fun. I think they're very nostalgic. Recently, I've been rewatching them actually. I think I'm very nostalgic for them just because of all the competitors in them and whatnot, and the presentation and whatnot. Seasons 10 and 11, I think those USA vs. the World suck. Like, I can't even remember any good moments from them, and honestly, I think us rewatching through this episode of the podcast and seeing this episode of the USA vs. the World again is making me really remember why I didn't like these USA vs. the Worlds, because everyone just fucking sucked, aside from a couple standout people on Team Australia. That was it. And Team USA, you expect them to do well. Oh yeah, like, I don't think anyone comes there to see Team USA. People are saying to see Team Australia. I think that's another reason why the World Cup was so, like, fresh for us, because, it was the first USA vs. the World in quite a while, but it was also the first good international competition we had seen in a while. Oh yeah, because we haven't seen the Four Nations special yet, which, because I've accessed it now thanks to the Ninja Vault on that Discord server, I might actually have us cover that, because I always wanted to cover that with you guys, ever since they brought it up on Ninja. I think we actually mentioned that we would cover it if we were to find a copy, and now we have a copy, so that might be something we do this year. Yeah, I'll talk about it at the end of the episode, but we all do plan to do some really cool stuff.
See you guys then. Peace. See ya.
Oh, finally, oh my god. Yeah, that was awful. Alright, we're done here. We could keep going, but I think you guys get the point. So, yeah, that was so redundant. Yeah, the second episode had almost nothing for us to, like, talk about in terms of history. It was just, like, us commenting on it. Like, yeah. Yeah, so I think that's a good thing for me to bring up for this. There was one more video I want to watch with you guys. It's going to be very brief, but there's one more episode I want to watch, mostly because it has a specific part of it. It's a very short episode, episode 7. No, don't make me rewatch that. That was terrible. Wait, you remember it? I remember recording it and absolutely hating it. Like, I have a very vivid remembering of that episode. Yeah, so he's like, So, the first two episodes of the podcast, we wanted to talk about the origin of the podcast. We wanted to celebrate our first recording, so that's why we did that. But everything else after was like a couple of Ninja Junior Season 2. And the All Stars competition, like, there's no need to, like, react to those. Like, I think you guys get the point. We were terrible. I think, honestly, I mean, Crystal, could you do, like, a re-edit of those? I could try. I think that might be doable. What? Okay, so in the future, if you want, I can do those stuff, So sometime, maybe you can expect those videos to be re-uploaded and reposted. I was personally thinking of like doing like a compilation video where it's literally 5 hours of the podcast and you guys get to see the individual episodes. If you guys would be interested in seeing that, let me know, because like I could easily edit that together and like re-edit all of these episodes because I think they definitely need it. Oh, I would love to see that. I mean, it just make it easier to watch these episodes, the older ones especially. Yeah, obviously we'll keep the originals on the channel, but like make them a little more watchable, and I think it'd be really cool because I do think there's probably some salvageable material from these. Very minimal, like the first two episodes we watched, I think there's almost nothing. Yeah, no, it's so boring, so monotone. I feel like those parts of the episodes are gonna be so short, but I mean like the NWP Junior stuff, and we covered Sasuke 38. We did the NWP 11 All Stars. I think all that stuff. We have some good material that I might be able to save. But what's this video you want us to watch? A last one? Okay. So I didn't talk about this earlier, but I do want to put it in there because it's a very short episode. It's only 6 minutes. It's by far the shortest episode we ever recorded. 6 minutes and 30 seconds. It was just something really short. And I really just want to bring up our little lies and controversy with this episode. But I also want to rewatch the entire thing because it's been a hot minute since I decided to watch this. Yeah, because it fucking sucks. Yeah, but we're highlighting ourselves here, so I really wanted to give this episode a shout out. I question why the fuck you put down the schedule, like... Yeah, I didn't even start qualifiers, right, first off. But second off, I do find it really humorous. You can't even read it, like, oh my god. I didn't have much to talk about, so I just, like, dragged it out, and then, like... What's the point? Wow, this is such an exaggeration of what happened with Drew. Yeah, it totally is. I guess I could speak on this. I recently did a paper on Drew Dressel for my criminal law class, because we had to do a paper on a criminal law case that we had a connection to, and my brain thought, oh, Drew Dressel, that'd be perfect. I want to do a video on him. I can do the research and have this be an excuse because I know I would never take the time to do it. Or at least I would have to force it. Now, I have a motivation to do it. And I did all the research, did the paper, and now, you guys might see a video about Drew Dressel at the end of the year. Really? Yeah. That's going to be a solo discussion video. I'm going to do a career deep dive on Drew Dressel because of that. That's going to be awesome. But yeah, I wanted to point out that this is a very exaggerated retelling of the story. And I didn't really understand the story at the time. It was really the first time I had really heard about this kind of thing. And it was the first time. So, note that this is definitely not the way to do it. Definitely not true.
And what's up with the current video? I don't understand. I know you guys have been really excited to see.
I love how, like, we are dragging this episode out. Yeah, I'm trying to make it as long as possible. It's still the shortest episode by a long shot, and the only one to not be 10 minutes.
Yeah, and the reason why we left in the first place, that was a combination of me losing motivation from making videos. It wasn't fun anymore. And guys, it wasn't because of your fan base or anything. I do love your support.
So I actually did explain it. Wow. I'm not surprised you did, I didn't think you did. Yeah, I honestly assumed I was as vague as fucking possible, and I think this was my understanding of it at the time. I didn't really know the philosophy behind my departure.
My little brother Jackson.
Oh. Yep, here we are. Yeah, okay. So, if you guys aren't surprised, this was me. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, this was my younger self. This was the first ninja competition I had ever been to, Windsor. And I don't know why I decided to highlight this, but I did. I made up a fake little brother and I named him Jackson, and it's the only time he's ever came up in my mythos, and honestly I'm kind of embarrassed about it. Yeah, you told me, like, I'll show a story. So, a little anecdote here. So, you told me about this, that you were gonna, like, do that, and I'm like, okay. And I didn't feel like speaking out about it, but, like, I really didn't like the idea, personally. Oh, really? Yeah, I probably would have said, I probably would have not have done it if you had objected to me straight up. I had the option. Straight up, I really didn't like it during the recording process, and I remember hating this video so much while recording it, and then I never watched it now, so, like, I was just like, no, don't make me rewatch this, don't make me even see what you did. Yeah, I found the live stream footage and put this up.
Was allowed to come to Windsor. Wow, we decided once again, to Jackson, I love you very much, and I'm really proud of you for doing that. But aside from
God, that was so forced. Yeah, this is why I hated the idea, because I was just like, if you want to talk about this, say the truth. Why do you need to, like, you know? Yeah, I was so humble at the time, but I wanted to talk about it, so, like, I made some kind of reason and an excuse. But nowadays, if I were to highlight this, I would have been to tell the truth.
I do hope you enjoyed the video, and hope you guys all subscribe, because I would really want to get that video down. And get more subs. So, aside from that,
wow, dude, just wow. I'm glad you addressed that, you know? Yeah, I wanted to make that part of this video just because I really wanted to address it because I found it funny. And, yeah. But anyway, that's my piece. That's this episode of the Enjoy It podcast. And you can upload this whenever, quite frankly. Yeah. You want to talk about our plans for this year? Because you were alluding to it a lot. Oh, yeah. Okay, so our plans for this year. So, here's my loadout for this season. This year of Enjoy Podcast will be a lot different than previous years. It will kind of be more of a freestyle thing. We'll probably cover the Team Ninja videos episodes after that, honestly. Team Ninja is season 1. We want to talk about College Madness. That'll probably be an episode later down the line this year. And we'll have to see when we get around to watching the episodes of College Madness in Season 2 and Ninja vs. Ninja. We do plan to do all 3 seasons if we do end up starting it. We want to do it. In terms of what else we plan to cover, we're going to cover AW17 as episode for qualifiers, episode for semis, and episode for the finals. That's it. Just calling it there. And they will be in a recap style as we did with Season 14. We will all behind there. That's going to be the style because those will be a lot quicker, easier for me to put out, you know, that kind of stuff. And aside from that, we plan to cover international competitions. So, during the USA vs. World, we mentioned it. We're going to be covering Ninja Australia and Ninja UK. We're going to be watching through those episodes and talking about our opinions in a recap style, just like we do in AW this year. And that was because, while Crystal expressed some wants to actually watch those because all 3 of us were starting to miss, like, Ninja Warrior as a concept, wanting to get invested in the season. And I thought, like, well, we've never watched those episodes, and there's probably copies online we can get. So, like, in the near future, we'll start watching those and release an episode talking about Ninja Australia Season 1 and talk about Indians, you know? And we've never seen those tournaments. We don't know the results. So I think it'll be really interesting to see those and see how, like A&W it is and how not like A&W. And I think that will be really interesting. And I hope you guys are excited to see that. And that's generally it. Alright, so I guess that means next time. So Sasuke 42 hasn't been filmed yet, but generally speaking, we don't really know when we're gonna release this episode, if I'm being real with you. Yeah, I know, like, okay, so let me just give you so it is January 26th as we're filming this. So that may be months ago at this point, I really couldn't tell you. But, you know, we just want to film this close to the anniversary, and here we are, so who knows when it's actually coming out. So I think for the first time, we don't actually know what's coming up next. Yeah, I mean, I think as you're editing this, you'll probably know what's up next, but in terms of us voicing this, we don't, so I guess all I can say is we'll see you guys next time. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, it's kind of weird to end this when, like, you don't know what's next. Yeah, but, like, then we're kind of just dragging it out, you know? Yeah, but for real, we will see you guys next time for what comes up next. I guess it'll probably be the Team Ninja stuff at that point, most likely. We'll see. We'll figure out what it's gonna be. And we'll see. We'll figure out what it's gonna be. So yeah. But either way, we'll see you guys next time for whatever it is. Peace.